Are you ready to unleash your full potential and become unstoppable in your success and leadership?
Welcome to the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast, where we provide powerful insights and strategies for coaches, corporate leaders, and entrepreneurs. I'm Alexanne Carter.
And I'm Carol Register, and we're certified master neurocoaches who are passionate about helping you overcome your limiting beliefs and optimize your performance.
Each week, we'll be sharing actionable tips and strategies using neuroscience, from interviews with industry experts to solo episodes, to help you lead a life of power, purpose, and possibility on your own terms.
Join our community of like-minded individuals. Hit subscribe now, and let's be unleashed and unstoppable together. Hey there, hey there, hey there. I am so pumped to be here with you. I'm pumped every week, and Alex Leanne is too. She's taking care of Amelia today. But today, you really want to pause. You really want to take a step and listen to this incredible guest we have, because high achiever leader, this is all about you being unleashed and unstoppable. I'm so happy to have Jen. Hey, Jen.
I'm so thrilled to be here.
Let me tell you a little bit about this powerhouse entrepreneur. She's an international speaker. She's host of the I Dare You podcast. And we're going to talk today about her book coming out, Be Seen. And she is also the co-founder of Super Connector Media. Now, let me tell you, Jen is a mentor of mine. It's especially important for me, emotional for me to have her on here today, because through Super Connector Media, I have had the most amazing collaborations and connections that are ongoing to this day. It's an award-winning training, events, and online education company. And I've had an amazing, just pause here, VIP day with Chris and Jen in their apartment in New York City. Oh my gosh. So lean in, really lean in. She's had a successful 5-year career as a VH1 host and a Broadway actress. And she's been making waves in the entrepreneurial world, teaching business owners how to build profitable brands and become the recognized expert in their field. It works. Let me tell you, it works. She's a sought-after speaker, and she has shared the stage with some top thought leaders and celebrities. I have been in person during her talks. If you get the opportunity for one of her keynotes, and one opportunity is coming up, which I'm talking about in my emails, then go see her. She's been on the stage with Gary Vaynerchuk, Marie Forleo, Eric Thomas, Emmett Smith, Snoop Dogg, Martha Stewart, just to name a few. And her work has been featured in Forbes, Business Insider, Maxim, Goop, and other major publications. Super Connector Media was recently on Inc. 5000's list of the fastest growing private companies in America. Yes. And Jen has been named one of the top 50 speakers in the world. How incredible is that? By Real Leaders magazine. But despite her many accolades, Jen is a true New Yorker and shares her Manhattan home with her husband, Chris, and there are 3 adorable dogs. Hey, Jen, I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm so grateful to be here and chat with you. How fun is this?
Yeah, and I know we're really here to dive deep on Be Seen, the book that's coming out. Guys, you definitely, I'm just going to say it ahead of time, you're going to want to get this book. It's an amazing, incredible message that Jen has and speaks about. And I'd love for you to dive in on, a little bit about your process of getting this book out there and helping us to be seen.
Do you want to know the process of marketing the book or writing the book, or what specifically do you want?
Really marketing and writing it. I'm mostly writing it because it's in alignment with your message about us being seen, being out there. Yeah.
I asked because the two activities, writing and marketing the book, were completely opposite experiences for me.
That makes
And
sense.
both experiences in being seen and allowing myself to be visible. But when I was writing it, it was very much like me on my own, by myself. It was a very like almost like hiding out. And it's been really, really interesting to take that book that I've been working on for so long, like by myself in my own little world, in my own little zone, and allowing people to see it. And it's so meta because I wrote a book about being seen. And now that it's being seen and this book is getting into the hands of people, it's all of the things that I wrote about in the book are coming up. Everything, the imposter syndrome, the fears, the doubt, the comparison, the perfectionism, all of it. It wasn't there when I was writing it there, because I really used the acronym that we talk about a lot, HOPE, help one person every day, when I wrote the book. So my writing strategy felt very easy to me. And it's because I'm not a writer. I never thought I was going to write a book. I never dreamt of writing a book, but I knew that this stuff needed to come out of me. And I really wanted to have something that I could give people and be like, listen, it's all in there. Read that. And I wanted to give back to, my life was changed by authors and podcast hosts and people that created content for me. And I dove in, what made the biggest transformation for me. So I was like, I want to do this for others. And so writing it, I just envisioned I was sitting across from the person I was writing it to. I envisioned that I was talking to my girl. Her name was Kayla, and she was sitting across from me, and she's a Pilates instructor, and she is just stuck wanting to create content, but not feeling good about it, herself, and not feeling like she deserves to be seen. And I would just have conversations with her. And when you read the book, you're going to hear my voice so much. I wasn't trying to be a professional writer. I was literally having a conversation with someone and helping them. And so that was easy. That felt great. And now putting it out into the world, this is where it really gets, you feel it. And I'm actually loving all the lessons that I'm learning, because it's so meta. I can say to all of my people that want to be seen in any way, whether that's creating content, creating a podcast, writing a book, creating video, creating anything, or even just wanting to be seen within their family or within if they have a 9-to-5 job or a corporate job, wanting to be seen by their boss or wanting to be seen by their spouse or their partner. Being seen is unbelievably vulnerable. And this is another next level for me for being seen, putting a book out there. And I am actively reading my own words and using my own advice right now to be able to move through a lot of the stuff that's coming up. Mm. It's so fulfilling. It is so fantastic to be able to already hear all of the great feedback, but it's also very scary. And a really amazing moment of growth for me to step into this new space of discomfort.
Oh, it's so powerful. The vulnerability that it's taking to do this. I mean, I can just hear that and all of that discomfort. And I know that you are really an expert in taking action, manifesting, taking action, which, by the way, the manifesting is so in alignment with the neuroscience, the neurohacking that we do. And really facing those fears, getting into your discomfort zone and being in that action. It's been so inspiring for me to watch that, because you really walk the talk. And so I love that you're bringing up this beautiful vulnerability, I can't say the word, that it takes to be out of your comfort zone and to walk into this. And I know that through this process, there's been a lot for you going on, just from hearing your messages, hearing you speak about this. And how do you deal with that when you're doing something on this level that is so huge and things are happening around you that maybe you didn't anticipate or expect? How do you be present through that process?
Well, I'm not an expert, and I'm not completely present through the process, and I'm okay with that. And I was like, it's really important, I think, and I'm learning this as I go. It's okay to be where you're at. Mm-hmm. We don't have to be perfect high achievers in everything that we do. I'm trying my very best here, and I've written a book that I'm so proud of. And I've been getting unbelievable feedback, and that really drives me. But for me, it really is like in each and every single day. I look at this day and I'm like, how can I show up as my best version of myself right now in the moment for this day, and do everything that's right in front of me? Because if I look at the big picture from very far away, like if I looked from today and looked at the whole book launch strategy and our event and all the things that are coming up, if I looked at all of that right now, I would get unbelievably overwhelmed. And I would probably say, you are not capable of all that stuff. However, when I just take it, we're not going to look at next week right now. We're going to look at right now, this second. Well, I've got a podcast with Carol. This is what I'm doing right now. We'll do this and then. And I always love this. I love this mantra. I've been repeating it to myself every single day. I learned it from one of I listen to a podcast every night before I go to bed. It's bedtime stories. It's called Nothing Much Happens. And it just helps turn my brain off. And one of the mantras that she often says within these stories is first this, then that. And whenever I'm getting overwhelmed and thinking about, oh my gosh, what's this person going to think? Am I going to be able to do that event? Am I going to be able to speak there and then travel there the next day? I get crazy. And then I'll want to take everything off the calendar and I won't want to do anything. Yeah. But when I first this, all right, we're going to do the best interview possible right now. I'm only here right now. Then that pretty soon I end up in my bed that night and I'm like, I did this day. I did this day in a way that made me proud. And then I can move on and I can do the next day. And really that's what I'm doing. And I'm just being in every single moment and living true to who I am, being as true to who I am as possibly can, as authentic as I possibly can, and not pretending that everything's fabulous. Because it's up and down, it's all over the place, but all of it is so unbelievably worth it. Every single fear that I feel, every single uncomfortable moment that I have, every single moment where I am unbelievably courageous and I move through the fear and I crush it and I knock it out of the park, because that happens too. All of those moments are all moments that I've never had before in my life because I've never launched a book before. So this is all growth, all learning. It's all making me who I'm becoming. And so I'm really just trying to relish in all of this right now and be okay exactly where I am in the moment. If that makes sense.
I love this. I love this so much. It's really eating the pink marshmallow elephant one bite at a time. Just being able to break it down. And I've heard you speak about this in terms of the way that you deal with fear. I'd love for you to address that, how you take fear and what you do to deal with that. It's a beautiful message and it's so inspiring. And really leaning into that present moment. I was at an event with you recently, and it was a miracle for me to be there. I'd had a life-threatening critical condition before I got there. I had the intention to be there, but literally thought I was going to lose my life a few days before. I'd set the intention to be there, and I took the action. I was like, you know what? I get to be present. I don't have anything that I can't lose by going. Every day is a special gift. Every day being present, every day setting that intention for the day. So I really love this message. It's super important. And I want you to know that, high achiever. Break it down. Just be in the moment. Be in today. Appreciate today. It's a gift. It's life. And we get to live it, which is so beautiful. So I would love for you to talk about fear and the way that you deal with fear, because that has been so incredibly inspiring to me. And I know that you're going to want to lean in right now, high achiever and listener, break this down, be in the moment and listen to this.
Well, you just skimmed over the fact that you almost died the other day. And I just want to pause for a second. Because I, as a friend, I'm so grateful that you're here and that you're okay and that you made it to that event and that everything's all right.
Yes, I'm okay. It's a part of the conditions I deal with, but I don't give life to those. Sometimes things happen, and every day is a gift in my life because of what I deal with health-wise, but that's not what I give life to. So I don't mean to skim over it or be casual about it. What I mean is that deeply appreciate life. We don't know. And you were addressing that by saying, be there, be in the present. Don't be worrying about this vision down the road, or it can really create the overwhelm and all the things that come up. So
I've learned over my journey through lots of transitions in my life that here's who's going to be there when you're growing. Always going to be there. It's always going to be there, especially when you're seen, especially when you're stepping up to the plate and you are really doing something that's stretching you, making you grow. It's going to be scary. It's going to be uncertain. And that's the human condition. And that's awesome. And I don't think we ever are going to be completely rid of fear. So anyone that comes online, they're like, you got to be fearless. Or, people that make tote bags and coffee cups and T-shirts that say I'm fearless. I don't believe I'm fearless ever. I believe you can be unbelievably courageous, but I don't think that I can get rid of fear. And I know that fear is there to lead me in the direction that's going to make me stretch, that's going to make me grow. So my job is to figure out how I can embrace fear and how I can put my arm around fear and how I can bring fear with me and how I can look expert at doing things that I'm afraid to do, doing things with fear there. And in the book, Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, she talks about putting fear in the passenger seat of the car, like imagining that you're on a road trip with fear. And fear is going to be there on the road trip. It's going to be a really annoying passenger. It's going to be yelling and screaming things at you and telling you why you shouldn't do something, or telling you why you should do something, or telling you why you should stop, or you should make a right turn or a left turn. And our job is to be able to drive the car, even though fear is an annoying ass. Yeah. And to be able to say, listen, you're going to be here with me. I get it, but I'm okay. I'm okay. And the thing that I'm going to do is not going to kill me. I'm all right. I can do this. If it's something in the personal development space or a thing that you're going to do that's going to make you grow, you just drive that damn car and you tell fear, okay, shut up, I'm not listening. And that's how I've been able to do all the things that I'm afraid of. It's because I'm not afraid. It's because I've risen to the table or risen to the occasion and I've said, fear, shut up. I'm going to be courageous enough to do this without you or with you there anyway. And every single time you do the thing you're afraid to do, you take away a little bit of that power that fear had. Doesn't mean fear is going to go away, but you take away its power because you prove to yourself and to fear that it's not going to stop you. And every time you do that, you get another rep, like another bicep curl, another time that you practiced doing something uncomfortable and getting to the other side. And we get good at what we practice. So overcoming fear and becoming courageous is definitely an act that we can develop that skill.
I love that. I love it so much. And one example where I've seen you display this is you talked on the I Dare You podcast about your fear of going live. And not only did you decide to go live on IG, you do it without makeup and you put your makeup on through the process. I mean, you just embraced it fully. And I invite you to go and join Jen on her lives. They're amazing. They're fun to watch. And real stuff comes out, which is so powerful and beautiful. And I love that you've really teaching me, and I invite you, friend, to learn the power of this vulnerability, the power of putting fear in the passenger seat, sitting it next to you, taking it along for the ride, having the courage, all about being uncomfortable, because this is really where counterintuitively, it's where the power is in coming out of hiding, knowing that you matter, that you get to use your voice. I mean, it gets me so excited to talk about these things and the way that it really is transforming lives, Jen. I mean, it's amazing. And I love the fact that you also have taught me a lot about celebrating it. And I'm wondering right now with the release of your book, what's happening with you with celebrating that? Because let's really dive in. Be seen. You really want to be seen. And she displays it. Jen displays it to us all the time because you matter, right? You have a powerful purpose. So how do you celebrate, Jen? And how are you celebrating the release of the book?
I had a really wonderful celebration this last weekend. It was really special to me. And when I was writing this book, I really started to try to get clear on what it would mean to me to have that moment where I got to say I did it. Because we want to have a why when we're writing. We want to have I like having an end goal. I like having that moment where it's like, this is what it's all for. And I didn't want it to be for a list. I didn't want it to be for a number of sales. I didn't want it to be of course we have all of those goals, but that wasn't what it was for me. I really wanted to have my moment. And for me, every time I visualized my moment of celebration, it was always on the stage holding my book, being able to share it with people and talk about it. Because you know that my favorite thing to do is speak on stage. And it really, this last weekend, you were there for part of it. I got to speak at one of my best friends' events, Lori Harder. She's someone that inspired me to be seen from the very beginning. And the fact that I listened to her and learned from her before I ever had a business, before anyone knew who I was in this industry, before I even knew her, before we were even friends with each other, was absolutely amazing that I was her keynote speaker at this event. She had purchased that many books. for all the ladies there. And no one has gotten the book yet. When you're listening to this, the book's probably going to be out. But at this time, no one had the book yet. It's only available for pre-order. And my publisher was able to get her actual physical books. So This was the first time that I saw my book in hands of somebody that was not blue. And 70 women had these books. And I got to share my keynote and have this moment with my girlfriends, my best friends in the world that helped me birth this thing and everything that I've been doing. It was unbelievably special. And I called Chris, my husband, after, and I was like, I don't need a book party. I don't need a celebration. Like, that was the moment. That was it. I really felt it. And the rest of it is just going to be icing on the cake. For me, it's all about connection. It's all about the people. It's all about who this book is for and celebrating it with them. And those 70 women were like, these are the Kaylas. When I was writing the book for Kayla, it was this group of women. These are the Kaylas, and they're all holding the book and we're celebrating it together. And my girlfriends are on stage with me, and it was just really beautiful. So that's the real celebration for me. And now everything else is just sprinkles.
Oh, wow. That just fills me up hearing that, and major FOMO that I couldn't be there for that day. But yeah, I think, being in the energy, being in the presence, and being able to really just have your cup filled up, because right now you're putting out so much energy and so much love to all of us to let us know about this, what's possible for us, what's available for us, what's available for you, high achiever, to be truly unleashed and unstoppable. Jen is somebody that you will continue to be so inspired by as she walks this walk. So it's really lovely to hear that you were able to, to receive and to have your cup filled up, and just to celebrate in a beautiful way with your dearest friends and with these beautiful women that you served. And I was so excited to be there on Friday night for the live podcast recording. That was super beautiful and powerful, and really resonate, because it is about being in the room. It is about being in the energy, surrounding yourself with the people who can leave your cup filled, and that you're giving and receiving at the same time. You're also putting out your energy into the world. So I love this. Is there anything else about Be Seen that you want us to know right now? I would love to hear.
If you're listening to this podcast, I have a strong sense. You keep saying high achiever, Carol, so I really appreciate that. So you know exactly who you're talking to, and I can envision the person. I can envision you right now. I hope that if you're listening to this, you DM me and you share with me where you're listening to it, and tag me or whatever, so I can get to know you. But it means that you're somebody that you feel in your gut, you feel in your heart that what you're doing in the world matters, and that you have something special. And if you feel that and you know that to be true, I know that to be true. Listen, if you're listening to this, I know. If you know, then I know. I feel you, because I was there too a long time ago, and I didn't know how to express it. And I was too afraid to put it out there. And I was too afraid to tell people about what I was working on or what I was doing, or any of the advice that I had or the lessons that I was learning. I was too afraid for a really long time. And it wasn't until I started doing it that I started to gain the courage to fully be seen. It wasn't until I was actually forced to start being seen as who I truly was that I started to really be able to be okay with being me on camera, and when I was posting and teaching and being in rooms. And it really does take doing in order to get those reps in, to be courageous enough to do it. So what I would empower you to do is remember your why. Remember the person on the other side of the phone, or the other side of the podcast, or the other side of the book you're writing, or the other side of the content you're creating. Talk to that person and practice thinking about that person and helping that person and serving that person every single time you show up. And every single time you do it, it's going to get easier. I promise. And every single time you do it, you're going to learn a lot about yourself in order to be seen even more and more and more next time. It's a compound effect, but it takes doing. Clarity comes from action. Being seen is an act that you have to do consistently in order to get better at it, both mentally and emotionally and spiritually, and also with the craft of being able to be seen and communicate in a way that people can understand. So if you feel it in your heart that this is definitely something that you know you need to be doing, start now. Start before you're ready. Grab my book. Let it be your cheerleader along the way. Go to beseenbook.com where you can get it. Grab one for you, one for a friend, one for a loved one, and enjoy, and let me know if you like it.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. This has been so wonderful. And you're right. Our audience is leaders and high achievers, and also being able to avoid the burnout in life and be who we truly are. This is such a powerful message. And I just thank you for being here. Thank you for putting this book out there. Thank you for your podcast, for your message to each of us, for what you're doing. And yeah, loving each and every one of you that is here with us. I am deeply grateful for you being here. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. I want to tell you, listener, that Jen's bio and all of her links are going to be in the show notes. You can go and grab the book. This is such an exciting time, and super thankful that you're here taking the steps for your life to know how important you are, how much you matter, and that you get to be unleashed and unstoppable. Thank you, Jen.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Unleashed Unstoppable podcast with your hosts, Alexandra Carter and Carol Register.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others. Post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review, and subscribe.
That's all for this episode, Wildly Ambitious Leaders. See you next week.